All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So much. Hare Krishna. Jayo Radha Madhav Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jayo Radha Madhav Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tiravanachari. Yamuna Tiravanachari. Jayo Radha Madhav Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana.
यमुना तीरा वनचारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा कलचंजी राधे जय राधा कलचंजी राधे जय राधा गोविंद राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा निताई गौरा हरि बोल निताई गौरा हरि बोल निताई गौर जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव निताई गौर प्रेमानंद जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौरा भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौरा भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरा भक्त वृंदा निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Praying at the lotus feet of my spiritual master, our dear Srila Prabhupada, and all the Guru Vargas, may I speak few words in the glorification of dear Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is none other than Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for my very own purification and the pleasure of all the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubheva patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namo mukum karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum deenitarinam paramananda madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram। कथांचन स्मृते अस्मिन् दुष्करं सुकरं भवेद् विस्मृते विपरीतं स्यात् श्री चैतन्य नमामि त्वम्। Things that are very difficult to do become easy to execute if one somehow or other simply remembers Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But if one does not remember him, even easy things become very difficult to this Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I offer my respectful obeisances. So this is my add-on to Narsimha prayers when in difficulty. Hare Krishna. So we are reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. We are in chapter 8. Madhya, Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya, chapter 8. This is the talks between Lord and Ramananda Rai. And we are on verse 247. Before this, basically this chapter, Prabhupada also likes this is for very elevated people to discuss, and I'm not that person, so I'm sorry. But I would do it as a service as I'm given to. So please forgive me. I was reading this verse 247, and then I was thinking of, because morning I had a Bhagavatam class, and I was thinking there's so much in each purport, but I have been just reading through it. It's not because Prabhupada didn't give us enough to churn, or it's just my inability, my lack of knowledge that I'm not able to dive in through the purports. So when you go back home, please read the purports and, churn it more. So this is 247, and right now we are done. The talk is going on. It started when Ramananda Rai and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met together, and they started talking about Krishna Katha. And of course, Ramananda Rai started with very basic, and which may not be so basic for us, but it was basic for them, because Ramananda Rai is Vishakha Sakhi, as Prabhupada mentions in the purport, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we know he is or she is Radharani, or Krishna with the mood of Radharani. So these two, the intimate people meet together and discuss Krishna Katha, and then Ramananda Rai starts with Varnashram. And then Mahaprabhu started rejecting one by one, saying, okay, this is external. Not rejecting as in this does not exist, but this is external. I want something more. I want, how two best friends, they meet. They want to talk something guhyam, the real confidential things, not like what's the news. They want their news to be discussed, not the outside world. So this is, Varnashrama was more like on that. And then it goes on and comes prema. And then when Mahaprabhu started listening, he says, okay, yaha hoy, this is what it is. Go deeper and deeper. And then, of course, Ramananda Rai goes very deep. And then eventually Radharani's mood and Radharani's devotion is being described. And Mahaprabhu said, if you have more, say it. And then, of course, Ramananda Rai kept throughout the discussion, the talk, the mood, that this is something, the beginning of the chapter, it says that you are the ocean. I'm like the cloud. So the cloud sucks up the water from the ocean and pours it back in the ocean. So you invested this knowledge in my heart, like Brahmaji, right? So you invested this knowledge in my heart, and I'm just speaking like an instrument. But you are the fingers who's playing me. I'm just making the sound. And this mood was throughout there. And of course, the back and forth of glorification of Ramananda Rai. Mahaprabhu says how wonderful Ramananda Rai is, what a beautiful devotee he is. And then Ramananda Rai says, you are the Lord, you are saying all this, just to make the Leela more interesting and things blissful like that. And so right now we'll chant this verse. Sorry, it's a Bengali verse. We don't have it on the screen. I will chant it myself. And we'll see where we go. Before this, I heard from a class that why would Mahaprabhu go all the way to south and hear it from Ramananda Rai when Sarup Damodar, who was none other than Lalita Sakhi, was right there. And Lalita Sakhi known to be the most dearmost. I mean, she loves Radharani like nobody does. Why would Mahaprabhu go all the way to south when he could have heard it from, But I've said it before, I would just say it again, that Mahaprabhu's, or rather Radharani's mood and Vishakha Sakhi's mood were closer than, because we know Lalita Sakhi is a little fiery and and she has a different kind of mood than Radharani. So the mood that Radharani had was pretty close to Vishakha Sakhi's. So that's why I heard that explanation, that he went all the way to hear it from Ramananda Rai in south of India. So 247. সম্প্রীতির মধ্যে জীবের কোনো সম্পত্তিগণ রাধা কৃষ্ণের প্রেম যার সেই বড় ধনী। I'll repeat it, I made a mistake. সম্পত্তির মধ্যে জীবের কোনো সম্পত্তি গণী রাধা কৃষ্ণের প্রেম যার সেই বড় ধনী. So if you read the previous purport, find here Prabhupada on the purport of 245, Prabhupada is writing, texts 245 to 257 are all questions and answers between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai. In these exchanges, there is an attempt to show the difference between material and spiritual existence. So this is the purpose of question and answer, like Mahaprabhu is asked, which is the best place to live, which is the worst of sadness one can feel, the distress. And so it's a back and forth question answer. So right now he's asking, what is the greatest of wealth? Sampatti. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked of the many capitalists who possess great riches, who is the topmost? Ramananda Rai replied, he who is richest in love for Radha Krishna is the greatest capitalist. Purport. Everyone in this material world is attempting to acquire riches to satisfy the senses. Actually, no one cares for anything other than acquiring material possessions and maintaining them. The wealthy are generally accepted as the most important personalities in this material world. But when we compare a material man of wealth to one wealthy in devotional service to Radha and Krishna, the latter is found to be greatest capitalist, according to Srimad Bhagavatam 10:39-2. किम अवलभ्यं भगवती प्रसन्ने श्रीनिकेतने तथापि तत्पराराजं नहि वाञ्छति किंचन. What is difficult for the devotee of Lord Krishna, who is shelter of the goddess of fortune? Although such devotee can obtain anything, O king, they do not desire anything. I'll read the translation again. What is difficult for the devotees of Lord Krishna, who is the shelter of goddess of fortune? Although such devotees can obtain anything, O king, they do not desire anything. So this morning I was hearing this chapter, 5th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, and verse number 35, first chapter, verse number 35. So we'll go to that and read about it. Sorry, it's all reading. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 1, verse 35. 5:135. So this is basically why it's coming is Priyabrat Maharaj. He realizes that one sun is not enough because one time it's becoming dark. He didn't want the people to be in dark. He didn't want their night to be there, So he wanted day all the time. So what he did, he became the sun, another sun. And then he started revolving. So when the sun goes down, so there will be no night time. It will be always day. 24 hours, all the time day. So he became another sun and he started revolving the, what is it called? The planetary system. It's not planetary system. I forgot the translation for it in the English one. But he will go around when the sun will, it's 180 degree, he was opposite and he'll go around as the sun passes and he will go. So it was like going and it was always daytime. And then as Sukadev Goswami was describing it, he thought Parikshit Maharaj might think, oh, how did this happen? Like this is too much, like we may think when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, how is it possible? Right? How is it possible? One beautiful thing what Gauranga Darshan Prabhu was explaining this morning, he was saying, and don't think when he was becoming son, he was not there managing his kingdom. Like for me, I'm here taking the class, I cannot take care of my son. But because he was a wonderful Siddha, he was a Siddha Purush, Priyabrat Maharaj, he could manage the kingdom wonderfully and become a sun and still revolve around and give the sunlight. So that's the glory of Priyabrat Maharaj. And of course, we know the history of Priyabrat Maharaj. He was under the ashram of, he is a brother of Uttanapad, and he was under the ashram of Narad Muni. And then his father came and said, become a grihastha, and he wouldn't budge. And then Brahma had to come and convince and things like that. And finally he becomes, and then he wonderful. So this time he's become son now because now he's taking care of the citizen. So he wanted the citizen to have son all the time. And then he goes around, and this is the verse when, if any of us or Parikshit Maharaj would have thought that, oh, this is too much for somebody to do. So this is 5:135 translation. My dear king, a devotee who has taken shelter of the dust from the lotus feet of the Lord can transcend the influence of the 6 material waves, namely hunger, thirst, lamentation, illusion, old age, and death. And he can conquer the mind and 5 senses. However, this is not very wonderful for a pure devotee of the Lord, because even a person beyond the jurisdiction of the 4 castes, in other words, an untouchable, is immediately relieved of bondage to material's existence if he utters the holy name of the Lord even once. Okay, I have a question. Let's see. Like, from Bhagavad Gita to Chaitanya Charitamrita, we have heard so many times of Mayavadis. It's called Khandan, like, rejecting the idea of Mayavadi again and again and again. Srila Prabhupada this. What is another thing Prabhupada did even more? I mean, not even more often, but next I would say. Sorry? Personalist? I was thinking them to be same under the Mayavadis, like, philosophical. Yeah, I'm saying what else you think Srila Prabhupada have huh? I mean, those are again caste and things like, yeah, go ahead a little bit more on that. Yeah, that's the one, yes. So Prabhupada, if you read, I was recently writing an exam, and all I was reading is Prabhupada is, hammering on the point that how, this is Sanatana Goswami saying how a bell metal can be transformed into gold when comes in contact with mercury. So if a person, no matter is a Malecha or Yavana or whoever, even the one whom you cannot even categorize, can become a Brahmana if initiated properly by a bona fide spiritual master. So this is the second thing Prabhupada insists. And time and again Prabhupada would say that. And this was so important for Prabhupada because, how many people back in India, they did not accept the devotees, And if you hear this pastime of Govinda Mataji, she would say how she once covered herself to go to Jagannath Puri temple. If you know Jagannath Puri, even Alarnath, they won't let the white-bodied devotee, or if they know that you are Western people, they will not let, irrespective of white-bodied or black-bodied. If you are not Indian, you cannot enter Jagannath temple. Very strict. You cannot even sneak in. no scope. And Govinda Mataji, she covered, like she pretended to be an old lady. She covered with a blanket and with a stick. And this, as soon, because she had blue eyes. So, how? And then as soon as they saw her, they started beating her. And then she and Kusha Mataji, they came running to Prabhupada saying, Prabhupada, this is what happened. And Prabhupada was so much of, in so much of anger, pain, and he was fuming. And next day, he had a class, in the, what I understand, it was an open Maidan sort of a class where thousands of devotees were there in Orissa. And he said, if you do like that, one day Jagannath will leave your temple and come to our temple. And if you see the compassion of Srila Prabhupada, like he didn't care, he's an Indian, he can go to Jagannath Puri temple. How does it matter to him? Saf Mataji cannot. Of course, he made them disciples, but he did not leave us even after making disciples. He took our hand and took us through, and he's still holding our hand through his books, through his lectures, through his conversations. And he was so strong. He didn't care that he could have been beaten up, because how much revengeful people may get if they're angry. They can do anything. We see what's happening around. If you have power of people, you can bring down anybody and trash them, and nothing can be done. But he didn't care for his life. He, of course, didn't care for his life. Otherwise, he wouldn't have come to America at the first place. But you see, he had everything almost by this time. When he had disciples, he had temples. But still, he did not, after being successful, we usually forget the people with whom we became successful, who made us successful. But Prabhupada, we see so much of gratitude. And we so often hear it in his classes, like, how the disciples were the servants of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Prabhupada even cried saying it, that you came to help me. So we see how Prabhupada was grateful, and he was so much like a father. This disciple of his, he says, now you go and preach in the Western country. And he said, Prabhupada, I don't have a passport because I don't know who's my father. Indian-bodied devotee. And he said, you write my name? You write my name. Because I have, in my passport, I have Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's name in my passport. This is all there from in Prabhupada memories. So we see the love that Prabhupada had. It's not that he became the CEO of this big ISKCON and then he forgot everybody down. So this is Srimad Bhagavatam, so we will read the purport. Sukadeva Goswami was speaking to Maharaj Parikshit about the activities of King Priyabrata. And since King might have, this is King Parikshit, might have had doubts about these wonderful uncommon activities, Sukadeva Goswami reassured him, my dear king, he said, do not be doubtful about the wonderful activities of Priyabrata. For a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, everything is possible because the Lord is also known as Urukrama. Urukrama is a name for Lord Bamanadev, who performed the wonderful acts of occupying 3 worlds with 3 footsteps. Lord Bamanadev requested 3 paces of land from Maharaj Bali. And when Maharaj Bali agreed to grant them, the Lord immediately covered the entire world with 2 footsteps. And for his 3rd step, he placed his foot upon Bali Maharaj's head. So basically, he came like a needle, and became a plow. So that's what they say, preach. You enter the heart like a needle and come out like a plow. You just say, chant Hare Krishna, be happy. Just offer the prasadam, and end of it, we say so many things, right? But that's the preaching policy, enter like a needle and come out like a plow. So Prabhupada, on his, this is Canto 7, it's a lecture, Prabhupada on Prabhupada Bani. This is, you can also look at it, this is Prabhupada Bani, this is Srimad Bhagavatam 7, 9, 8 to 11. Prabhupada gives a lecture. Beautiful points. I would have taken it down, but I wanted you to hear it and read along if you can. Let me just go to it, yeah. Hopefully I'll find it. This is what Prabhupada is saying, and then we will see the bhajan also. Prabhupada is saying that we give everything, like he will talk about why do we say Sakshat Dharitvena Samasta Shastra, like why do we say Krishna and the pure devotee or the spiritual master are non-different. He explains that. And also he is telling why one should surrender to the pure devotee. Because as we read, coming back to the translation, here that say that, right, that pure devotee doesn't need anything. It's not impossible for pure devotee to get anything in this world. But the pure devotee doesn't need it. So Prabhupada is explaining, I somehow... Let me start. It's material world. Okay. Mm-hmm. Did you find it? Okay, I'll read it a little. Sorry, it's a long one. A Shudra means one who is simply to satisfy the master. He cannot live independently. He must seek out, just like dogs living independently means it is a street dog. There is no comfort. A street dog has no comfort. The cats and dogs, they find out some shelter. I'll go a little. So our Vaishnava principle is we have to qualify ourselves just like cats and dogs, but we are not going to serve the ordinary person, Krishna and his representative. Then his life is perfect. Kalo Shudra Sambhava. In this age, everyone is practically a Shudra seeking a master. But let him seek a master. Krishna is prepared. He says, Sarvadharma Parityajya. There is no benefit. I'm just skipping and seeing where it is more relevant so that I can discuss a little more. There is no benefit. As soon as this body is finished, whatever I acquire by my material qualification, that is all finished. But if we have got a tinge of spiritual qualification, that will go with us. Now the question is that, does it mean that Krishna is hankering after service? We are advising everyone, just become a servant of Krishna or his representative. Yeah, this is where it is. It starts with now the question is, just become a servant of Krishna or his representative. Krishna and his representative is identical. This is explained in the Guru Vashtaka, Samsara Dhava Leela. The spirit, okay. You chant this song in the last verse, that is Sakshat Dharitvena Samasta Shastra. The representative of Krishna is non-different from him. That is the way of dealing even in the material fields. So then Prabhupada goes on explaining how if you are working for a company and you have a particular position and you are in charge of signing, you know, like a manager or somebody who can sign the papers on behalf of the company. So you are representing the company. And tomorrow if something goes wrong, the company has accepted you as a representative. They will not say, okay, this entity is different. This is not our people. The company will take the person's activity as their own, and whatever went wrong, they'll try to fix it. That time they would not separate. Similarly, a Krishna's representative is non-different than Krishna. So when you work for somebody, and Prabhupada also speaks like how a son is non-different than the father. The father has the riches, but the rich man's son is also rich. Did he earn it? No, but still it's his. So Prabhupada explains with those. Even if he has transcended some business, so that's just like the representative ordinary policeman, same with police people, right? The government employs a person, an individual, but that individual is representing the entire institution. So in this material world also, the representative's value is there. Similarly, Sakshat Dharitvena Shamastra, the spiritual master is representative of Krishna. And Vishwanath Chakravarti advises that in all scripture it is stated that spiritual master is identical with the Supreme Lord. Sakshat means exactly the same. Sakshat, not that indirect. Sakshat means directly, just like face to face. If you see the representative of Krishna, that means you are seeing Krishna. Now this gets interesting. If you see the representative of Krishna, that means you are seeing Krishna because you have to see Krishna through that representative. Otherwise, there is no seeing Krishna. He is transparent via media. Everyone has no idea what is Krishna. And because the representative of Krishna induces one to see Krishna and gives his knowledge and intelligence and tactics how to see Krishna, therefore he is as good as Krishna. That is the verdict of all Shastras. Sakshat Dharitvena Shamasta Shastra. Jai Shri Radha Kalachandji. all, and Shastra means scripture. Shastra, Vedic literature, authorized literature. That is the verdict. Kintu Prabhurye, but it does not mean not like the Mayavadi. The Mayavadi, they present he is Krishna. The Mayavadi, Prabhupada is saying the Mayavadi would say, I am Krishna and worship me. But the representative is not saying he is Krishna. But the Vaishnava spiritual master, he does not say that I am Krishna. He says, I am humble servant of Krishna. And that is his position. Kintu, but the servant, why he is as good as Krishna? Because he is most confidential servant. Therefore, he is as good as Krishna. Because he is the servant of Krishna, that's why he is as good as Krishna. So here, the question is that a disciple, a follower, is advised to serve Krishna. Krishna is far away. His representative, just like cats and dogs, Vaishnava Thakur. And then he talks about this beautiful bhajan by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. The bhajan is named, this is from Sharanagati by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and it is called, the official name is Goptritra Varana. Goptritra Varana is the one of the 6 limbs where you accept Krishna. When we get married, especially in Bengali, we have, it's called Boron. Like, you accept your husband to be your master. So when we accept Krishna to be as our master, like a maintainer or a husband or a pati, anything else under that title, it's called Goptritra Varana. And under that, and Prabhupada is mentioning in that lecture, that Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, Sarvasya tomar charane samipiya, porechi tomar ghore, tumi to Thakur, tomar kukur, bolia janaho more. It's like I have given up everything. I've given up everything. My house, that's the most of the mood of Sharanagati bhajans, that I have given up everything. I'm a dog. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a magistrate. And he is saying, I'm a dog. You need a lot of guts to say I'm a dog when you're a magistrate, right? Like people, like if I keep saying I don't know anything, I won't have anybody here. So I have to be like, when teachers training, they teach you that, you be humble, but also make sure that not so humble that, you don't have any students at all. So, but then here Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that's a pure Vaishnav. He can do that. He's saying, I'm a dog. And if you read the entire bhajan, maybe someday we will sing it. And if you read it, this is like features of a dog. It says, I will bark if any non-devotee comes. And I will only let the devotees come. And what will I eat? I will eat the remnants. Who eats the remnants? The dog eats the remnants of the master. And I will eat only that. And then Prabhupada talks about that particular verse. Go back to the lecture that Prabhupada was giving. I'm sorry if I'm boring you, but I thought it was relevant. So here the question is that a disciple or a follower is advised. We read that. So Vaishnava, who is actually representative of Krishna, he is also Thakur. And that's why he says why Vishwanath Chakravarti is Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is a Thakur. And Thakur means a landlord actually. In Bengali culture, they call Thakur. So he has sung a very lengthy song, Tomaro Kukura Bolia Janoho More. It's a beautiful song. Please go ahead and read. So please accept me as your dog. Then he describes as a dog watches the door, no outsiders are allowed to come in. So he says, I shall always watch your door. I shall not allow any non-devotee to enter your house. He is saying like that. And for my food, whatever remnants of food you throw me, I shall be satisfied with that. In this way, he has presented himself as a dog to the devotee. So why is this instruction? Does the Vaishnava require a dog or Krishna require any servant? The Prabhupada is asking why if he is so humble, and here we read in the Chaitanya Charitamrita and the Priyabrat Maharaj story that a Vaishnava, he is a servant of the one, Urukrama, right? Urukrama is the one who could have everything, like who took everything from Bali Maharaj, and still Bali Maharaj didn't have enough to give. So he is Urukrama, the Bamandev. So who has the master like that? He doesn't need anything. So when he doesn't need anything, why doesn't he need a servant like a dog or a dog-like servant? So then Prabhupada is answering for that. So why is this instruction? And then Prabhupada says, this verse says that the Lord Prabhu or his representative, he does not require any service. He does not require any service. Then what is the use of offering myself as a dog, as a servant? He is not need of a dog or a servant. Nija labha purna. And then Prabhupada goes on saying, Nija labha. And first he says why Krishna doesn't need a servant. Because Krishna is, we know the 6 opulences. He is all opulent, all riches, wealth, and everything, the beauty, renunciation, and you name it, and Krishna has it. In Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada explains that some people might be very beautiful, but may not be rich. Some people might be beautiful and rich, but not renounced. And Prabhupada goes saying that how Krishna is renounced. We had a desire to enjoy, lord it over, so Krishna gave it in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4. This is one of the analogy where Prabhupada is saying, explaining our desire, how relating our desire to enjoy, to lord it over. Prabhupada, this is beautiful, lord over everything he surveys. Like whatever we see, okay, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. So this is like lording over whatever we survey. Whatever we see, we want to lord it over. So Prabhupada is explaining to us how Krishna is renounced. This is an analogy from Bhagavatam where the child sees the mother cooking, doing such wonderful things, preparations, and the child says, I want to cook. But can he handle the fire? Can she handle the fire? No. So what does the mother do? Goes to the market, brings the toy kitchen, and gives it to the child. And the child goes on playing. Ultimately, no food comes. So this is what we are doing in the material world. Krishna created this material world. Why? Why did Krishna create this material world? Because we had desired to lord it over. We wanted to be another Krishna and enjoy everything. So Krishna says, okay, this Golok Vrindavan, you cannot do it. So here is your material world, here is your toy kitchen. Go and cook as much as you want till you get frustrated that nothing will come to fulfill your stomach. Come back and I will do the needful. Like Krishna is being a mother and we are the children who had so many material desire. Till we get frustrated and understand that nothing gonna come out of our fake cooking or fake endeavors or useless endeavors until unless it is for Krishna. So Prabhupada is saying, so Krishna is renounced. He created this material world, and then he is not saying this is mine. He is okay. He makes it and then he winds it up, and then again he creates and again winds up. So he has no attachment at all. If we create something, and somebody destroys it or it gets destroyed, we will be so possessive about it. But that's Krishna. He is so renounced. So Krishna doesn't need anything. And how about the pure devotee, the spiritual master? Does he need anything? Prabhupada says no, he also doesn't need anything because he has the master who can satisfy him. This is Prithu Maharaj telling the 4 Kumaras. This is a prayer where Prithu Maharaj says, what to speak of such saintly person who has engaged themselves in the service of explaining the path of self-realization in relation to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And such explanations are for the enlightenment of the people with complete conviction and Vedic evidence. And how can such people be repaid? Only with folded palms with full of water for their satisfaction. Such people can be satisfied. Such saintly people can be satisfied only with their own activities. Who can satisfy such pure devotees? Only they can satisfy them. When they chant, when they read, when they worship the deity, only that can satisfy. We cannot satisfy him. They can be satisfied, and yet they distribute their activities amongst us out of their unlimited mercy. And then Prabhupada says that we do it so that we can get purified. We serve Srila Prabhupada, we serve Guru Maharaj, we serve the Vaishnavas. We will go ahead and see in the future verses how Krishna says if one does not serve a Vaishnava, he is a very unfortunate person. So we serve. Why do we serve? Why do we want to be a dog? So that we can be with God. So I'll pause here if there is any question, correction. Yes, Madhavi. Thank you. I was just going on reading. I wanted to read a little bit more from the verses, but that's okay. Thank you, Mother.
Just repeat for the audience, Mother Narada said, but boring. The example you gave of Mother Govinda Devi going into the Jagannath Puri temple.
Yeah.
Yes, there's been several horrible experiences. However, I want to point out that His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, he actually made it all the way in. And not only that, he was given special tour.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just thought I'd mention that.
That's so nice.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll
How
be
do you-
pretty happy. No, he's black-bodied. But you can tell he is not Indian. Yeah. I mean, now they do. I know Radhanath Maharaj also. Yeah, so it's no exceptions are there, and I really feel sad. It's so powerful. The reason I'm saying it, not to make you feel deprived, but to desire for it. Okay, so no, I'm not saying that this birth itself. Why to risk another birth? this birth itself, I was saying that may that rule comes when all of us can go. No white-bodied, no black-bodied. Anybody should go and visit. Why I was saying, just give me a moment. Last year we went to Jagannath Puri. It's very hot, and Jagannath was this time. This was not Rath Yatra time. This is where he comes to the Gundicha temple. So we took the darshan in Gundicha temple. It's an austerity, especially for me. I'm claustrophobic, so I feel I'll die anytime when I'm in the crowd. I cannot handle, even being an Indian, I cannot handle it. And then I'm short. So I'm like in between everybody. Everybody is taller than me. I'm suffocated and choked, and I'm like, I can do only so much for you, okay? I'm not a pure devotee. I was telling him, I can do only so much. And if you know somebody, they will take you real close to Jagannath. This is the time you can get closest to Jagannath. So they'll take you, and they're on a platform, like a stage, and they're there, and you see them like this, so close. So they take you, the panda, they're called panda, the priest, They'll take you close and put your head like bang on the stage. And like you go like this. And when he grabbed mine, and he said, okay, you come ahead. I could not. I thought that would be my last breath. I said, no, I'm not doing it. He did it for my husband and for my son. So I stepped back and I was looking at his beauty. And every time, even now, when I hear Jaya Jagannath, I still think of that. It's been a year, so I request you, plead you all to pray for the day when you can actually see Jagannath in the Jagannath temple in Orissa. Of course, Prabhupada's Jagannaths are beautiful. No, I'm just, yeah, but now they don't let you hug and all. So this was like a real close. So it's such this desire, if we had, if not Krishna, Srila Prabhupada, this fulfilling our desires, but Jagannath being the Lord of the universe. So, yeah, sorry. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Just on that point, like Jagannath comes out and
yeah, he stays on his cart. But again, I was talking about how close you can get. Like when you go on the altar, you see Kalachandji this close, and it's like, Uh-huh. Oh, Jai. Yeah. You're saying something? Oh, Jai. Oh, Jai. They don't give it to Indians also now. I said they don't even allow the Indians to do that. After this is on the cart when they're on the field, right? Yeah. Yeah. But still I will request you to pray for the day when you can enter the temple. Yes. Even Alarnath is also very strict. Alarnath doesn't come out also. So you have another reason to pray to get into the temple. They said, if you're from ISKCON, you cannot enter. I said, but we are Indians. Then he looked at us for a while, and then he thought, and then he said, okay, go in. Because we know the story of Alarnath, when Mahaprabhu was in separation from Jagannath, during those periods when he goes inside the temple and he cannot be seen, then he goes run to Alarnath. It's like 1.5 hours, 1 hour something by auto from Jagannath Puri. And he went to see Alarnath, and he goes there and pays obeisances. And there's a stone actually, which is melted with Mahaprabhu's bodily warmth of love for Krishna. And if you go, you can still see that stone. It's his entire body is imprinted on that stone. Had a question? Premamrita had a question? No, please go ahead. That's okay. Still want to hear you. I'm used to hearing you. I heard that, but
I heard that he entered a Lord Shiva temple where he had to cover himself with ashes. But is there actually a story where Maharaj entered the Jagannath
I've
temple?
heard
I
from
think
disciples, so
he did. Jagannath temple. Oh, okay, I have to do some research.
he did. Okay, but yeah, that's what I have heard. But anyways, like they do recognize, at least the Guru Maharaj is the one in the orange. Like you have to prove yourself to go. If you're a different body, you have to prove yourself, your qualification. But if you're Indian, no matter if you eat anything, no matter what you do, you can just go just being an Indian. But I was just saying, coming to the point that we can all pray so that all of us in this very body can see Jagannath.
Nityananda Prabhu is going to Houston. His Grace Gaurachandra Prabhu just passed away just a few minutes ago. And so Nityananda is headed to Houston for the cremation. His wife is Kalpa Turu, disciple of Giriraj Maharaj. And Gaurachandra is first initiated, one of the first Indian body devotees.
Oh.
Yeah. And please pray for them.
We can chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Let's say one Mahamantra.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Also, there's a program beginning at 8:30. It's a online program, Life and Memories of His Holiness, Tamal Krishna Goswami, and it's at 8:30 this morning. And anyone is welcome to join.
You have 1 more minute. So I'll pause here. Please forgive me for all the offenses I committed. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubheva cha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. You have to chant the verse. I always forget. Shruyatam nityam.
Shritam nityam.
Giyatam mudha. Chintatam bhakta.
Chittatam bhakta.
Chaitanya charitamritam.
Charitamritam.
O devotees, may the transcendental life and characteristics of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always be heard, chanted and meditated upon with great happiness. Hare Krishna. Thank you for your association.
Radharani ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,